Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2016 horror thriller Don't Breathe, a film that is co-written and directed by Fede Alvarez, who brought us the Evil Dead remake a couple of years previous to this film. And it stars Stephen Lang as the blind man. We have Jane Lever, Dylan Minnette and Daniel Zaviato. Now, this film focuses on three youths who essentially go around and break into people's homes. Now, one of them, their father, runs like a security firm, so he's got access to keys to these homes. So they're giving tips they're given tips by the local criminal underground as to which homes to hit. They get the key, and then they go to the house and rob it. And they are given a tip that there is a home in a secluded neighbourhood, and the only information they are given that there's a guy that lives there who is a veteran, a military veteran, and that there is potentially around 300k in this house, as he got a big payout when his daughter was killed some years previously. So they head to this house one fateful night with the intention of robbing it, but what they don't realise is the guy that lives there, Stephen Lang, is blind, and he's actually pretty handy capable rather than handicapped, and they have got their hands full getting out of this house in one piece. Right, so what are my thoughts on Don't Breathe? Well, this is a film I've really wanted to see. It's one of those films that I missed at the time. It's one of those films I've really wanted to, get around to watching, and I have recently picked it up, finally. And watched it just a couple of nights ago, and I have to say I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this film. It was fantastic. One of the most tense films I've seen in a long time. The only film that comes close to it recently that I have seen in regards to tension was A Quiet Place. I think this is on the same level, maybe even beyond that. It's superbly crafted. Very few weaknesses in regards to the film that I could give you, if I'm perfectly honest. I just think it's structured perfectly. It treads in the area of grey areas. I mean, these kids, how are you supposed to root for them when they aren't particularly nice people? They rob people's houses for a living. So you're not really on their side to start with. You're on the side of Stephen Lang's character, the blind man, who, you kind of think, well, yeah, they kind of deserve what they're getting. However, when more is revealed about who this blind man is and what he has done, the balance shifts again. It's constantly making you question your morals, this film, which I really liked. There is no good or bad, really, from any of the characters. I mean, well, when I say that, there is definitely, when the reveal happens with the blind man, there is definitely a more of a leaning towards this guy's not a good guy. But I just like how it was structured, the initial hurdle of getting to the house, and then they can't get in, there's a dog there, a huge Rottweiler. They get in the house, that's a problem, and then they've got this guy that they've got to deal with, and try and get out of the house, and they really struggle to do that very thing. And I think the film portrays that absolutely brilliantly. I think some of the scenes we have in this film are so simply put together, but so brilliantly filmed and well performed. I think Jane Lever, who plays Rocky, who is the character you probably sympathise with most, because she's just trying to get out of the city with her younger sister, who she's almost like a mother to. But still, she robs houses, so you're not that much on her side. But she portrays the horror in this film brilliantly. The look of horror on her face when she sees some of the things happen in this house. You really do feel for the situation that they're in, and some incredibly tense moments. There's a really brilliant moment downstairs, and it's filmed in the cellar where the lights are off. So he's clearly got the advantage, the blind man. He feels like he's got the advantage through most of this film. But he really does when the lights go off downstairs and they're literally trying to make their way through the dark, trying to escape him, and very, very, very tense. And moments where they're trying to get through locked doors, and you know something's coming, you know something's happening, and you're just literally on the edge of your seat. I watched it with my wife, and we holding hands, and it was like, you know, holding on for dear life. It was like being on a roller coaster ride. This film, brilliantly put together, and I think what they've done here is created a new horror icon to some degree. It's with The Blind Man with Stephen Lang. Brilliant. I mean, how this guy blind, what they've created here is a very complex character, and when we learn more about him and what A, he's been through, and B, what he's done to try and put things right, a great character. And it is my understanding as well, by looking at Stephen Lang's IMDb page, that he is going to be doing a sequel this year. I think it's down for 2021, at least I think it is. So I'd be up for seeing a sequel to this. I really, really would. Very, very nicely put together. Honestly, I can't stress enough how good this film is. Very tense, very frightening, edge of the seat stuff, and I'm so glad I saw it. You know, when a film at the front says the best American horror film in 20 years, you know, it's got 4 stars from Empire, 4 stars from The Guardian, and all these great quotes on it. You think sometimes you watch them and you're disappointed, but definitely wasn't with this. Whereas I'm not necessarily agree it's the best horror film of the last 20 years. It's certainly one of the best horror films I have seen over the last few years, certainly. So that is my review for Don't Breathe. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't seen the film, check it out. And of course, I will be back with more reviews and content on Screen Stars very, very soon.